I didn't really recognize how different I was until I was about 44 years old. I read this book and my boss told me, she goes, it's very academic, but it'll be a good read. You got the time, read it. The book was titled Extraordinary Knowing by Elizabeth Lloyd Mayer. It was written like a textbook. But in the middle of the book, she starts talking about a client that she had. She was a psychotherapist and just described this highly sensitive, highly intuitive nature about herself, that she would see things before they happened, and the premonitions that she had were stronger and getting stronger. And she could also hear people's thoughts. And I was like, wait a minute. And I had to reread that paragraph over again. And I was like, wait, this is news. This is incredible. This is extraordinary that somebody can hear people's thoughts. And I put the book down and I said to my husband, who was home at the time, I said, Joe, I said, can you hear people's thoughts? And he's, no. And at 44, I literally broke down in tears.
Oh my gosh.
Because my whole life, Aneta, from being a baby, one of my first memories was I think I was 8 months old in a crib. I still can feel the feeling of being in that crib with not being able to use my legs, pulling myself up to the crib. I had very early memories, and that my whole life I have been able to hear people's thoughts. I'll be in a grocery store and I'll hear what they're thinking. And multiple people, I'll hear, it's just like walking into a room with a full conversation. That's what I hear. And sometimes I can tune it out. And when I tune it out, it's almost as if it's a vacuum sound. That's how I
Yes.
describe it. If you hear somebody vacuuming in another room, that's what I hear.
Like it's
And
muffled? Like it's
muffled.
okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I asked my husband that day, and he's, no, I don't hear, no, I can't hear people's thoughts. And I just started just crying because I realized that I've spent most of my life with that ability, thinking that everybody else had that ability. I just felt that was a way of being human. That's what we all were like. I don't know if you could say took it for granted or what, but I just assumed that everybody was like that. It didn't even come to my radar to even think that until I read it in her book, that it was extraordinary.